employee recognition event that I'm seeing at Zoom. Yeah, soon. As soon as this meeting's over.
We're ready, Steve. We're live.
All right, excellent. Well, hello everybody. Nice to see your faces, if not seeing you in person. But we'll jump right into the agenda here. It looks like we have, for a start, the approval of minutes. So assume everybody has seen and read that. And so I guess I would be looking for a motion to approve our board minutes from April 9th.
I'll second.
Got somebody who moved it, and 1 second. Any discussion? All right. All those in favor say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Okay, and then any opposed? Okay, the minutes have passed. Let's go through the treasurer's report. I think we have Doug's gonna go through that.
Yeah, so I could say, the finance committee met this morning before this meeting, and one of the things that we've been talking about that we're recommending that at our next board meeting, we're gonna have not as many reports for you to review. That'll be our recommendation, and you'll have to approve that at our next meeting to see if you want to have these summary reports. But we'd like to have a summary of all these reports going to the board. And instead of having all this detail to go through. But for this morning, the things I'd like to call your attention is that we have a balance sheet in here, as we've had in the past, a profit and loss statement, an expense abstract transaction by vendor, the CD bank statement report, and then I guess that's it. So the next item is another discussion item. The important thing that we'd like to bring to your attention this morning is that the board does need to approve the check payments that we have in front of you. There's two reports. There's one of them is transaction list by vendor that has both the check payments represented on it along with deposits. And interest is gained from CDs. The check detail report has all the checks that are going to be written, and I'll be signing later on subject to board approval. So this is what we'd like to have you approve this morning, is this check detail report. Yeah, Terry says the total is $18,465.29.
So the finance committee's already recommending everything else has been approved by them, so.
Right.
I'll make the motion to pay the bills, unless you're gonna make the motion and I'll second it.
Oh, you're gonna approve the entire, you're gonna approve the,
Yeah.
you're gonna recommend the entire.
To pay the bill, yeah, the finance report and the paying of the bills.
Right.
The
Okay.
$18,000
All right.
amount.
That sounds good.
I'll second that.
Okay.
So we're using our finance committee. Yeah.
Discussion, Steve? We're good.
Steve, we have a motion for, a motion and a second to approve the finance committee.
Yep.
Treasurer.
No discussion. All those in favor say aye or raise their hand.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Abstaining? Okay.
All right, the next thing on the treasurer's report is the update on new business options for bank funds, and Melissa will talk about that.
So this was per Terry's question last board meeting as to whether Community Bank would, relative to the size of our investment with their organization, consider waiving or at least reducing the fees for business banking and positive pay, which we discussed last month. And it seems like it will be a positive outcome, whether it's fully waived or reduced. But our person that usually deals with it is out on leave at the moment, and the other person that's covering said she would get back to me by the end of this week. So I will have the answer to you by next board meeting, for sure.
So it will be less cost.
But it looks positive that it will be less, so Terry was correct about that, so that was a good recommendation. But that's pending next, so it'll be back on the agenda next month. So that's it. We don't need anything.
Well, that sounds great and promising. Yeah, thanks for that follow-up. That's,
No problem.
it's great to hear.
Okay.
Is there anything else we need to discuss related to our finance committee report? For the banking and financial summary?
The LTC.
That'll be at the LDC meeting.
Oh, let's just do it separately. Right? Yeah, it's for the whole board to discuss. That's under the next set.
Okay.
That's for the full board.
And if the finance committee wants to see those ahead of time, we can do that. I didn't think about that. I
Yeah,
apologize.
that was,
Yeah.
action.
Yes.
I think the answer was no,
Should we
Steve.
move on?
Yeah, we're all set, Steve.
Well,
Okay, should we move on to the action items then?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Okay, do you want to walk us through the action items, Craig?
Sure, the RFP, every time we do a micro enterprise grant, which is actually a county grant, which we administer for the county, we end up hiring a consultant to do all the legwork and the hard work because they work with CBDG all the time. And as we see all the paperwork that flows back and forth, and Terry's seen that too, there's a lot of paperwork that has to be done right. So, but to hire the consultant to do that service, the CBDG and the Department of State require that we put out an RFP to hire somebody. So although we have a valid contract with Harrison Studio to do that, it will not be valid in the next round unless they win the RFP. And the RFP process, what we have to do is we put it in the contract reporter. We reach out to minority and women-owned businesses and put it in the newspaper, and then we review all the applications that we get. The last couple times, the only one we've got is Harrison Studio, but if we get other ones, we have a scoring rubric we have to use to decide who we actually hire. And that RFP is the same RFP we've used before. It's a standard RFP that CBDG is happy with, so.
How much time does it take for them to do that work?
What work?
Once you select a firm to consult services, how long does it take them to administrate? Yeah.
But it's a 3-year contract because it takes up to 3 years to finalize one of these CBDG. So that's why it's 3 years. Luckily, last time we ended up getting an extension of that because instead of having the normal 2 or 3 years, we spent all the money, so they gave us another $300,000. Hopefully they do that again.
It's like a supplemental.
Right.
Yeah.
So that saved us from having to do another application.
so is this request to allow you to go out for the
Yes,
RFP?
yes. It's not approved, the RFP.
It's at the end. Your supporting documents are at the end, so yeah, but your
It's
last.
basically,
Your last
the
tab.
board is allowing us to put out the
Sorry,
RFP.
They don't see it. Your last
Oh,
tab
I
of your
didn't
green
know
folder
that was
is the RFP itself.
That was sent in the board package.
Yes, and it was in the board package.
Oh, so but this is just asking for permission.
Permission
go
to send out the
Yeah.
RFP. And we've already done this before. It's just appropriate to have the board know that we're doing it.
And the dates, Barb pointed out that the dates, and they're wrong, they're supposed to be wrong, the board needs to approve it, and then we'll update the May 15th, and then there's a date somewhere within, right, Barb? Second page,
The dates will correspond to actually
Yeah,
when we
well,
approve it.
to the appropriate term, because there's like a May 8th, 2023 date on the second page, but that just has to be changed once we know when the RFP is approved and can go out.
So the top should be May 14th.
It'll be, yeah, it'll be today, May 14th.
So are there any questions on the
When
RFP?
are you having the proposals back to you?
So if we get this out, then when do we expect this date to be, Craig?
We usually do it about 4 weeks.
So it would be more like middle of June, so
Right.
June 15th or so? That's what we figured.
I think that's what we did before.
Okay. So that's the only thing that will change once you approve it, are those 2 dates.
So it looks like we need a motion to approve the RFP with those edits incorporated. That sound about right?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay. I would look for that motion then.
I'll move.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right, any additional discussion around the RFP?
How many results do you get usually?
One.
Without
One,
one?
Mike?
Well,
Send it out to
I do
everyone.
reach out because we're required to reach out to MWBs.
Right.
but we have that documentation and none have ever replied, and that they won't. I can't imagine we get more than 2 or 3,
Right, okay.
but we'll let the board know, but last 2 times we only had 1.
I think there are 20 organizations on the list, because we already have the email ready and everything for MWBEs.
And with 20, you still only get one.
But
Yeah.
we don't get any of them, we get just Mike
Oh,
at the Harrison studio, yeah.
Well, you gotta remember, it's a small contract.
Right.
And it's working on this, it's working on broader projects, but it's a small contract.
Yeah.
And most of these folks are in
Big.
the cities looking for big projects.
What's
What
the-
did we pay the last time?
They get us
As
the,
an administrative fee.
they get the percentage of administrative fee it's allowed by CBDG.
I wanna say it's roughly $60,000, but don't quote me, so it's
It's in
not
that
much money.
neighborhood.
Yeah, because what is this up to, about 600?
It's 300.
$300,000, they get
300,
about
yeah.
60.
And it's a lot of work.
Oh, it's a
That's
lot.
another reason,
Yeah.
That's what I'm
lot of
saying, we
people
would
don't.
not be doing these if we didn't have a consultant.
Yeah. it's a lot of work.
CDBG makes that hard.
Don't they?
Yes, they do. So,
Who's on your review group, Craig, for the RFP?
We would bring it to the full board, or we could bring it to the finance committee or the full board, it doesn't matter, we've never had anybody to review.
It's always just been the one option, but I do.
We'll bring it to the finance committee, I would suggest, right?
Are you talking about the rubric for which you evaluate? That's what I was,
Yeah.
yeah.
If we get more than one application, we can bring it to the finance committee.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, any further discussion?
can I ask one more question?
sure.
Does this have in it no, I just found it, sorry. I just answered my own question. Ignore me.
And for the other question, you can see the rubric is actually in the RFP.
Yeah, it's
The one where
required to
it's
be in
in,
there.
it has to be part of the RFP.
Yeah, I saw that. Mhm. Yep, good rubric, good process, we also have to follow similar things, and you're lucky. This is a lot less complex than what we have to do as part of the SUNY public system of higher education. So, good on you. Okay, no further discussion. All those in favor, say aye or raise their hand.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? All right, you have your RFP there. Good luck. You want to walk us through the investment policy?
Yeah, the finance committee has a recommendation we get at the end, but we sent out the investment policy that we've already approved. The only edits we had were basically adding the appendix A, which gives limits to the investment with any particular banks we're using. And does the finance committee want to discuss that? It's really just the last page we added.
And then the actual policy, there's just a reference to the
Right.
appendix. That's the only thing that's been updated.
Right. Doug, do you want to make any comments? Because you guys reviewed it.
Are you talking about the investment deposit?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, at the end of that, we're recommending, on the last page, appendix A, that the financial institutions, the community bank NA, the $10 million maximum investment deposit limit, that's been added. And then for Citizens Bank, the local commercial bank is $250,000.
And that's because all the money in the community bank is collateralized, so it's actually
Protected.
projected. So we can go that high with that one bank. So I think that's it. That's a discussion, and they reviewed it and sent it forward to the full board to approve.
So it sounds like then we need a motion to approve the policy.
The updated
This was
policy.
forward from the finance committee.
Correct.
I'll make the motion, we approve the investment policy as amended.
Okay,
I'll
thank
second
you.
that.
Do we have a second?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye or raise their hand. Any opposed? Okay, got that investment policy done. And it looks like you wanted to discuss the charges in the charter that you had put into the packet there, Frank.
Yeah, we sent all of the potential charges for all the committees. And the finance committee agreed with my original recommendation is the committee should have a time to review those. And so they're not really ready to approve until the next board meeting.
But for the record, right, the audit committee is the entire board.
So the full board has to really review.
Really review the audit committee. The rest of it, if you're on the committee, you need to review it.
So that's the charge is basically, Steve, is to have the full board look at them all, but particularly the audit committee, because the audit committee is the full board. And then if there's any comments,
Would
we
you
could,
like any input or feedback sent back directly to you, Craig, or how would you like us to get any?
yeah, if you could send it directly to me, then we can edit and change for the next board meeting, yes.
Okay,
So it's really for information at this stage. Because there was quite a few charges and we're not expecting it to review them all and approve them today.
okay, sounds like you gave us a homework assignment.
We'll send it out.
We'll be sure to look it over and give you some feedback, and then just keep in touch with us, if you've made any changes and can summarize that input, and then we'll be ready to further discuss and approve at the next meeting.
That'd be the plan, yes.
I think Terry's question is good for the whole board that she just whispered in my ear, which was, are these brand new? And yes, they are brand new. They're not changed from anything previous. So just so you know, they're not edited or updated. They're brand new right now.
We didn't have charges for the committees
Right.
before because previously later the full board was all the committees, so we didn't have charges for separate committees. Which is,
Okay.
it's fine to do that, but we were running differently.
Yeah, always good to have charges for your subcommittee, so glad we're moving down that route. And then, there's so many of us that are new, we don't have much context, but, for those of you who have served, and have experienced things, would be great, to get your feedback to Craig, because you'd be able to kind of think through probably a little bit better than us newer people, what existing roles have been and, what they could be moving into the future. But great. Okay. How about then we move? I'm sorry. Okay. You want to go through all the old business updates then, Craig? You want to walk us through all that?
No, we don't have an executive session. So basically, the first one's the EPA brownfield grants, and I'll do a quick summary, then Melissa can add, but we've been meeting regularly. We have a number of projects that we're working on in all over the county, Wellsville, Cuba, Friendship, and we actually are getting quite down the path. We'll probably be doing our first phase 2 fairly soon, so you want to add to that?
So the progress since the last board meeting was that the EPA did approve our Quality Assurance Project Plan, or QAP, stupid acronym, but, and.
She wanted to say QAP, but she wanted to say it out
Quality
first.
Assurance Project Plan, and they came back with just minor comments, which is great, that's exactly what you want. They never don't comment, but minor comments is basically nothing. The consultant, HRP, went back and corrected those, and we're still waiting to hear, we expect this week or early next week, that now it's finalized and that the comments were corrected and we're in good shape. At that point, we can do the site-specific ones, and as soon as a site-specific WAP is approved for any site, and we have 3 in the wings right now, then HRP can start the work on the the phase 2, yes, on the phase 2. So, and the phase 2, just for anybody that hasn't known yet or doesn't remember, phase 1 is a historic records and visual investigation. And then phase 2 is an actual disruptive investigation where they take physical samples for the first time. So that's what that is about. We were actually discussing the finances, and I don't know if you want to talk about possibly approaching another grant for next year this time, or wait till next month.
If you can get another assessment grant if you spent 70% of your funds, and we may be ready by October to have done that, and then we'll bring back to the board. Because I think we have enough other projects that continue to help people to do assessments. And why not? Because it's money for a community that can then do phase 1 and phase 2s, and I don't see why we wouldn't get another grant. But we won't know until later in the summer if we've spent 70%.
And so far, although we've met some
We're making
resistance
good
from some
progress.
owners, HRP and Craig have worked really hard to then get on board with those owners to explain to them, because even if you're looking for financing for a project, a phase one's gonna be required by your lender. So we're helping them by, I mean, it's a $10,000 get right there, because typically a phase one's about 10 grand.
Tends to scare people, but
It does scare people, but they also don't realize that anybody, whether they get a grant from the feds or the state, or they get a lender, they're gonna want
Right.
that initial phase one. So that's working out well, and I think we can keep adding value, because we have over 100 sites on the list already. And we're right now affecting maybe 10 to 15.
And I think the second grant would be easier because people then will have a lot of them done, ones and twos, and they'll say, oh,
We'll
that's
have
okay.
success stories.
Yeah, success stories.
That helps,
but
yeah.
how did they prioritize? You had 100 applications. and you only-
Oh, no, we don't have 100 applications, we have 100 sites.
Oh, okay.
And then we look at the sites as a group and decide which ones are developable.
Oh,
Which, in other words, which ones
So
can
you
be
still
developed.
are part of the solution. process.
Right, and of course it's on that group as well.
Right, and to your question, it's a good question. What the brownfield investigation is, literally HRP reviewing sites around the county that the team suggests and or that they have records of that were former industrial sites or actually already on the EPA's
So
watch list or
We're
anything.
trying to avoid doing random sites, we want sites that could be redeveloped.
Gotcha.
Right, and it's about where they are, what kind of shovel-ready state they're in, whether they're in a busy area that could be redeveloped. So there's a discussion around
And the
that.
first couple have been very easy
Yeah.
because they're working with the land bank, they're doing some things in friendship and they
Important work.
need some help.
For unblighting friendship, and it's been a great partnership.
I think initially you did reach out to the municipalities.
We did, all the
See if they had
municipalities,
recommendations.
and I finally got in touch with the mayor in Wellsville, which was hard to get a hold of. And now he's the one that finally gave us 5 or 6 properties because of the DRI.
Right.
Because some of the DRIs are being held up.
'Cause they're
They don't have
required.
phase 1 or phase 2s.
Right.
So that was very helpful. When I explained how we could help them, all of a sudden he gave me some names.
Right, because DRI is gonna ask for them anyhow. And then Cuba's been really helpful with sites, and then we also held a community engagement meeting in which we told the entire
Right.
community that they
Which we
could.
need to have another one as well.
Yeah, that's true, we can just schedule that.
So,
Anybody have any questions about any of that? But it's a $500,000 grant with what we have in the queue right now. We should be close to 300,000-ish by October, November. And if we add a few more phase ones and possibly another phase 2, we'll definitely be at the 70%, in which case we could apply when the portal opens in September and the funding will
They
happen
do it
in
once a year.
January.
So we'll bring back to the board when we get closer to see if we want to do another.
Awesome.
Okay?
Great. Thank you for that. Thank-
The next one is the RBDG BDO zone grant. I did reach out to them and they said they're on their way. They're doing all their work. They're on schedule to get a report to us about the bio mass and what's available. And so they're happy with where they are. We sent them, I think we mentioned last time, 3 sites. They think the Wellsville Business Park sites are primary. Both the Greenfield, which is the non-developed space, and actually the building itself. One is it's actually an industrial area. It also allows, when they do the map, that includes probably parts of Pennsylvania, the Florida's part of us plus Pennsylvania, where there's plenty of biomass, as you all know.
Right.
So they like the sites. So they said they'd give us high ratings because of the sites. So.
And I think specifically I was looking for, I think she said that it would likely be done by early June.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So they're on target. So
Yeah,
sometime,
very well.
probably maybe even next month we'll have a report.
By the end of this month is what you said.
Yeah.
So that's actually in May. Is what her-
So if we get it, we'll get it to the full board to review.
So we'll have it for June.
But they're making progress. The next item is the Gateway Center for the Western New York Wilds. We have 2 reports, one from Tom McElhaney and the Building Committee, and then Tim Boyd or Carissa, whoever wants to talk about the county part. So,
Let Tim talk about it.
okay, I kind of thought so, but I'm just looking at you. You want to update on the county?
I didn't know if you wanted to go.
You go first.
Okay. We can all take turns.
Mhm.
We have secured a number of grant activity. One of the things that recently came to light was that there may be an issue with power, that there may not be sufficient power moving forward. We're currently exploring with our consultant Delta Development to look at a New York Power Up grant. We believe it's somewhere in the neighborhood of $5 million will be needed. In looking at the potential applicants for this grant, it includes public utility committees, IDAs, counties, municipalities. So we're looking to see if it's a possibility that we could do this individually, collectively, or if someone else wants to take the lead for this. Part of the problem is that we need 40 contiguous acres. We're not sure where that needs to stop and start, so it's potential that we could look at marrying, for the sake of the application, the gateway application project with the hotel and those pieces and the housing, and or we could look at the end user being the DPW site that's currently under construction. We currently have about 40 acres and we're looking to procure another 20 to 30 acres from that if that's possible. We're in discussion. So we have that piece taken care of. There'll be a meeting next Tuesday with our consultants. Craig is on the call as well as a number of other folks. So we should have more information that someone will be able to relay to you after May 19th, because it unfortunately or fortunately won't be me. But that's moving along. We recently procured, as of yesterday, looks like we have procured the site to establish the water tank to move that project forward for the water and sewer, and secured that. We got that locked down. So it looks like everything is very positive. So, and we're hoping that it stays that way.
Thank you, Tim.
Sure.
No,
You're up, Tom.
After Craig asked me to do this, and you two guys are sat there too, I put my thoughts together as best as I could. But we started the meeting by talking about how we can strengthen our grant applications. That they might have been lacking because we didn't have a real good more detail on the building itself. We had a lot of information on what was going on locally, but we didn't have all that the consultant had completely. We hadn't asked the consultant to do more than what the Alpha group had done. So the hope is to strengthen it by the process we're going through too, right at this time. Now, the architects love planning, and the first meeting was all about it. Excuse me. Yeah, that's right. You can say so. The whole effort was to first look at schedule with the hope that possibly we could be in the ground by 2027 and have a situation where the local artisans could also occupy the building maybe by 2028. The strong support from this group was that we need something that's expandable, that's affordable, and it meets the, we're all from the county here, meets that criteria that it is Allegheny County. They're not building a building that would fit someplace else other than here. So there was a lot of discussion about that. The one part of the site's a little bit tough is that it's going to be in behind the existing buildings. And we did some discussion, and I actually talked to the architects again about that we've got to get people to turn the corner and take the county road to get to whatever development's going to happen on that. So they're going to, when they come back to us, they're going to have some suggestions, not only on the shape of the building, but on how we can get people to realize what's going on there.
That's great. My experience with these agencies is that, anything we can do to show shovel readiness, right, is really, going to be of great value, when reviewers see it. They just want confidence that it can be done, that you have whatever money that you need to have in place for it to be done, and that you have a plan, right, for what you're going to do afterwards. So it sounds like that's exactly what's happening here, moving down that right path.
I think there was real good interaction with, like I said, architects like planning, but some of that early planning about size and shape and location and usability and area for artisans, office space, that was all valuable to making this happen, see what they come back with the next time.
Right.
It was a good planning session.
And we got another meeting coming up next week, right?
Yeah, next Tuesday morning.
Next Tuesday. So there may be even something for the board in June.
Yeah, that's what they're hoping for.
Right.
Absolutely.
Anything else from other board members that were on?
Just, looks like it's already expanded, you know, they want expandable, I just don't see them. You know, we have $1 million now, not $3 million, that's right, man. When we get more
Well,
money.
as you well know, the grant money is gonna fund the rest of it.
Right.
And I just don't know what grant is all. We don't think we're gonna get.
The ARC grant is gonna be put back in as on the agenda. And I'm still talking to the Wilson Foundation, and I actually have some pretty good ideas on that, how we're gonna get between the two, we'll get
It's
the 2
next
million.
one.
See, I'm not seeing the Wilson Foundation.
We will.
coming through, so.
No, we will.
We had,
They will.
For the connection to Greenland.
Yeah.
We got a real good reply last fall from them because they haven't spent much money in Allegheny County. They
That's
did a
correct.
little bit to Houghton for the pathways to the river and stuff going on there, but they were looking to look to a project in Allegheny County that.
I know.
Had some.
It's been very positive.
And what they, it's been
Well, they're working
positive,
on one in
yeah,
Belmont right now.
what they really wanted to see,
But it
because they
sounds
were,
like, you know, based on what I'm hearing is, you know, there's a desire to make sure that we have the funding stack identified and secure before we.
Oh, I know, we understand that. The marketplace part will not be built unless we have the funds.
and the Wilson really wanted to see us have all the funding, including the ARC grant in place before they put their dog in the fight, you know, before they jumped
I
in.
think we're gonna change that.
Yeah, okay. That was where they were last time.
I'm just, I've seen a lot of grants out there that we don't get, you know, from the county side. and
Right.
from- just Cautiously optimistic.
We understand.
Yeah, no, good point. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves, right? We want to
Well,
make sure
without
we
the-
got all the.
But without the full design, we've got little chance of getting the grant
Right,
funds. You can't tell them that, well, we'll do that after we get the money, because then this is the
Doesn't
way to
feel
get the
real.
money.
Yeah.
The preliminary design is pretty important.
Because Rick did a good job to do that before, but he didn't have any real meat behind it.
We use a two-part design, right?
Yeah. We could do the standalone building. That does get us to the ARC Power Grant. The process is we're going to put in a letter of intent May 22nd, which basically doesn't, all it says we're gonna put in a grant. And we're revising the last grant, which the board did approve before, but we're revising it. And we should have something for the board to review by June, because it's due July 8th. Last year, I didn't have anything for the board to fully review because we didn't have it written, but we've already, it's really just revising the one we've already written. So,
And what is that? Is that-
2 million. Well, it was 1.8 million, I think it was. The max is 2 million, so just under 2 million.
The power grant?
What's that fund?
The building,
So that's part of that, again, it's part of.
The construction of the.
all the construction of the building.
Craig, just a quick, you're gonna be submitting that independently or back through Delta again?
I'm working with Luke again.
Okay.
There's not much, obviously, we're gonna revise and review, but most of the revisions will be mine. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna help, but it's, because really, we're now updating
An
the
existing.
existing building, so there's not too, I mean, he did a good job of rewriting it, but we'll go through it with him.
Yeah, I knew you were working with some other
Yeah.
folks, I just wanted to clarify. Thanks.
Yeah, I've already alerted him, he already gave me all that. What's interesting is last year I had to get into the power, what's the thing you have to do now, their power, it's not their power, they're, it used to be ArcNet, but it's a new process they use, you know what I'm talking about.
They renamed it and made it more difficult.
Well, what's really weird about it is even though I was in it for last year's grant, they dumped me, so I have to go back and get in again this year.
It's their online portal.
But their online portal, I thought I was still good, but no, my portal from last year was no good. Which I thought was really weird, because I finally said, what's wrong? I can't use my username or my, and I knew what my password was. He said, well, you're not in there anymore. So I did that yesterday. The next one is the micro enterprise grant. And as the county knows, they've done all their work. We've done all of our work, and Mike Zimmerman has submitted the new grant. So we should know shortly for CBDG, but it'll be a month or two. So we don't have any more funds until CBDG approves that. There will be no question, because we've had such success the first two grants. They fund success, so.
We've had a ton of interest. Michelle and
We actually have more interest
Yeah,
now
they-
than we've had even last time.
Which is part of Coordinate Incubator Works, is a lot to do to them, but Michelle and Ashley have been sending us over, I've been getting them daily. Every other day, daily, different organizations interested in being put on the list, because I'll send a mass email out to all of them once the portal opens.
And it's really helped Incubator Works and Accord run their training programs, because now people know they have to be trained to get this, to get the grant.
And we can't increase our application amount any more than it
No,
already
it's
is.
300, yeah, it's the biggest, but hopefully they'll do what they did last time, because they
Do a supplement.
did a supplement, because then we didn't have to redo the grant application, we hope. Any questions on that? So that's moving forward, should know shortly. And as I mentioned, it's an Allegheny County grant, and it's really helpful that obviously the county is very pro doing this, because it's been very helpful to the small businesses, and we've had really good success. Thank you, Chris. Allegheny County Strategic Plan Economic Development, we continue to meet with Ashley. I meet with her once a month, and we have a planning economic group that meets every other week. So we are in discussions all the time as to what's going on and sharing information. The one thing we have been working on with her and sharing is a manufacturing council. And one thing the manufacturing council asked at the last meeting and was all excited about was doing some training for supervisors, managers, whatever one might want to call them. And so we've got a plan. We've worked with Alfred State College. They're going to host it June 23rd at the Lake Lodge. Hope you know that, Steve. You do, right?
Yeah, we asked him to be there, but he can't.
Great.
And so we've got it all set up. We're going to help collect the money. It makes more sense. It's got the pass through. The $25 is to pay for lunch. Once we collect the money, we'll be paying ACIS for the food, which is the food services for Alfred State College. The only thing they have asked us to do is to come up with an honorarium to pay for the Alfred State faculty of $500. And unless there's an objection, we'd like to do that.
We need a motion for that.
Is that something the board approves? I mean, what happens is we're part of the partnership with the EDO and the county, but they can't do those kind of things, but we can. And it's a small amount.
And they're covering the rest, so the $25 per person covers the lunch and possibly some of the expense. And then we would cover Jared Childs, the faculty member that will be helping facilitate. And then Alfred State is giving us their space, Lake Lodge, to use, so that's there. So it's a partnership where we're trying to share costs, and the only cost they've asked of us, as Craig said, is the $500 honorarium.
So we should have a motion for the board to approve that.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussions on that?
How many people will attend that?
50.
50 is the max we can take. Yep, good question.
Hopefully it'll be a ongoing process. We'll do it much more than once.
And we already got 50 signed up.
No, we have to open the sign up.
We're opening up the sign-ups.
Yeah.
Pretty confident.
Yeah. You'll get one. Okay, Steve?
Yeah, do you need a motion for that, or are you, is it?
We did a motion, but not a final approval.
We did a motion in a second. We just need to have a final approval.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye or raise their hand.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, have a great meeting.
Well, you're gonna be there. That's what I heard.
No, he can't. He said he can't, I thought.
Oh, I thought someone from the college was gonna open it up.
Right, and I don't think that Steve
When
can
is
do
it?
that day.
June 23rd.
I don't even know.
Yeah,
Sure knows. Yeah, I think I'm gonna be in California.
yeah, he's gonna be away.
Probably get carried in. Clean energy projects, the only update I was going to have is Marine Solar. I know they're ongoing, but they haven't gotten back to me as far as when their project will actually close legally, because we get their pilot. I don't know when, but I'll keep asking them. The other thing, I am working on a factual panel on energy storage, because energy storage is going to be coming up. And the first project, we've not gotten approval, anything submitted yet, but they presented last year to the other board about energy storage, and they can present again to us. But there is a energy storage project that has been approved by the town of Burns. They've not come to us because we don't do that approval. They're going to come to us, ask us for a pilot. So if you want me to, I can get them to come in and give a presentation to us, and they will before they actually do their application, have not made an application. But I'm also setting up a panel, so I know a lot of communities don't know if that's something they want to do, and I'm trying to get Dan Spitzer's going to set up a panel, including the statewide safety officer, so that we all know the facts. That's all. I'm not trying to push this as another round, but just so people know what the facts are about energy storage. Because you're going to see a lot of them pop up.
So Town of Burns is the only one that has been approved so far.
That's the only one that I
They
know
have
of.
not made an application to you.
They've not made an application to us, but it's the only one that I know of that they did talk to Wellsville and they said no. But I don't know of anyone else, because what happens is they reach out
There's
to
something
us.
around here you don't know about.
Okay, I have not heard anything yet, because it comes to the Angelica board, whether the board is first. We don't know, we don't usually get involved until it's a project that the town wants. So, but I think would be good to have the towns and everybody else to know what the facts are about energy
So
storage.
there's some towns trying to pass laws to stop it.
Well, they can't stop it per
Well,
se,
they
but
pause them.
pause,
Pause
Yeah,
them.
moratorium.
because they don't have the law is what it is.
Right.
And that's one of the things you want to have is some people that are talking about the laws and how you protect yourself and what the real concerns are.
And there's a lot of involvement with ORAS, I think, for some of that, solar and wind.
Right.
And these energy storage.
If they're big
places.
enough, yes. There's a certain platform that has to be bigger. Yes.
Yeah.
And this may be because it's most of these are the 100 megawatt, the big ones. They're not putting in just a couple of
Right, little ones.
little ones, yeah. That's all I got on clean energy, Steve.
All right, anything then about, the board requirements, that you wanted to mention, the ABO board requirements?
Well, the good thing is we now have all the financial disclosures, so that box has been
Good
checked.
job.
We do have 5 members yet, and I think they know who they are, need to do your sexual harassment prevention training.
Or turn me your certificate.
Or
turn it to
if
me
you've already
you
done
have
it, give me your certificate, which Steve has. And I've done ours, it's pretty simple to do, so we can send you out the link again if you don't have it. Why don't we send out the link again?
I can.
And then the next one is obviously a reminder that everybody has to do the ABO on book training. We can send that link out too. I think
It's
some
both
people
together.
have signed out. But that has to be done sometime this year too. Everybody has to.
They heard it all, I tried to do that, and they still don't.
Yeah, they
They
don't
still
have
have
to
any more.
release any new ones.
Decided we're gonna hold it.
Well, unfortunately, when they open one up, it
It's
gets
full.
full pretty quick.
Right.
Because there's always new board members this time of year.
I can keep my eye on it too and let you know when they post new ones so that you can get
When
on
we
there.
find out there's something,
Like getting a new toy at
when there's a
Christmas.
true opening,
You know?
when there's a true opening of a training, we'll send you out.
Yeah, I can keep an eye on it.
Versus just having you look at it all the time. That's all we got.
Okay, is there any new business on the agenda?
I'd like to know what's anything new at the Cuba Industrial Park.
Yes, they have, they're finalizing one lease and they actually may have a second lease. So the final negotiations has taken longer than we hoped, but the company's just been slow. But they haven't said no. The biggest issue, that new company coming in has asked for some extra requirements, some other things to be done to the building. And as the building owners say, you can do it, but that means your lease goes up. We're not doing stuff for free.
I mean, the whole list totaled 2 million in updates for them to be there.
But they are starting to do some of the updates, and they will hopefully be able to announce something fairly soon.
Thank you.
Is that the old Acme?
No,
No,
that's the Great Lakes Chiefs.
Oh, okay.
Acme still call that.
That's what you still
Call
call that.
Acme Business Center.
Any other new business? Okay, how about, we have a motion to adjourn then?
I'll move.
Yeah, I'll second.
All right, second, any opposed? Okay, first, meeting adjourned. I don't have a gavel to smack this time, sorry. I got a slap on my desk here, but doesn't bring the same. Shall we go right into, the second meeting there?
Yeah, the
Does anybody
LDC,
need a quick break?
the LDC. Yeah.
You okay? All right, on we go. Let's go through our LDC meeting agenda then. We'll begin with the approval of minutes. Again, you've received the minutes from April 9th. Get a chance to review. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes as is?
I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes from April.
Great. Second. Okay, got a second? Any discussion that we need for the minutes? Okay, all those in favor say aye or raise your hand. Any opposed? Okay, minutes pass. Looks like we have a treasurer's report.
No, we need the executive session, right?
You can do it in any order.
Oh, is it, okay.
Yeah, on the treasurer's report, we have 3 pages. There you have the check detail with one item, deposit likewise, and then transaction by vendor. So I'd recommend it for the approval.
So the recommendation is to pay the bills primarily. Yeah.
Do we need
Thank
a
you.
motion for that?
Yeah, Doug just did, and that is the finance committee, and John seconded it.
Perfect, sorry. Okay, any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Raise your hand. Any opposed? Okay, that has been approved. Alrighty, looks like, we'll, need to go into executive session, to continue discussion on the next item. Is that right, Craig?
Yeah, it's a contractual issue, yes.
Okay, do we need a motion to go into executive session or shall we just
Yes,
proceed?
You can stay.
I'll second.
All right, and a second, all those in favor, say aye. Raise your hand, any opposed? Okay, great. Right, in a second. Any opposition? Okay, looks like we can get out of executive session then.
I'm back on.
Back live.
And so then I think since we have a review of Allegheny County LDC loan program, the only comment is that the finance committee is reviewing process and will make recommendations at the next board meeting. Correct?
Yes.
So that's it, unless there's any old business, Steve, or new business.
Okay. Any new business? All right, how about we entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Got it. One, do we get a second?
Terry.
We got a second, all right, any opposition? We have concluded meeting number 2 then.
You want to get open?
Um,
Yeah.